Fernando Rizquez, in a chance, he told me to the gossips. Gossips are killed by polishing everything on due time. Gossips are exterminated by coming out, reveal the truth, to share the truth with people. So that phrase I always remembered because it's very elusive. In the latest days, it has been presented a truthful gossips of rumors of matrices interested around matrices interested in the running away of Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia. And we, representatives of the Bolivarian state, especially of the Bolivarian government of Venezuela, we have been cautious, we have been patient about the different matrices revealed on the media. In fact, today, early in the morning, it appeared in foreign media outlets and communication media attached to the Venezuelan far-right opposition, this information, that which was, they presented the document in which my name appeared as a recipient, and it pointed out that Edmundo Gonzalez complies with the final judgment decision and recognized the Venezuelan state institutions. From there, the manipulations, matrices, gossips, everything with intention to distort the truth. And likewise, pardon me, all Venezuela knows about, particularly when we refer to the far-right opposition, that lies are always revealed, and that the truth is always going to be revealed. In the previous days, that Edmundo Gonzalez left the country, we were contacted by people close to Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia for holding talks with President Nicolás Maduro about the desire that Edmundo Urrutia has regarding abandoning the country. And so we initiated the contacts with those people, and then he later commissioned Vice President Jorge Rodriguez for her to be her representative in the conversations with Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia. Then we had direct talks with Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia by phone conversations and personal conversations between Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia, who invited us the night before departing Venezuela to hold talks in the Spanish embassy to Caracas. As gossips are broadcasted, well, here it is. I showed the letter duly signed by Mr. Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia. First, I am going to show you his signature, and then there you see Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia, the ID 20,003, and my signature as received as a witness in the act of signing. And then you see on the first page you see the signature of Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia and my signature. This is the original letter that Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia sent me. Citizen Jorge Rodriguez Gomez, President of the National Assembly. There you see the The first letters, the first words are noticeable because he recognizes the National Assembly of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, elected in December 2020, which have a duration of 5 years as all legislative terms that were approved by the Bolivarian Constitution of Venezuela. Jorge Rodriguez Gomez, President of the National Assembly. There you see it is not said Juan Guaido or any other opposition member, and so that is pointed out by Gonzalez Urrutia. I directed to you on my condition as a Venezuelan citizen on the duly time to refer to the events happened after the July 28th elections, and so there's another news. The National Electoral Council, as González Urrutia highlighted, issued the results of presidential elections of July 28th, 2024. I pointed it out because many media outlets and foreign governments, enemies of the free independent revolution of Venezuela, they insist on saying that the National Electoral Council has not issued any results, and even González Urrutia recognized that the National Electoral Council issued results, and then there, as it is of your knowledge, on August 2024, the Supreme Court of Justice issued a final judgment about the contentious appeal filed by Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro Moros. Before the controversy emerged after the presidential elections, as it is expressed by, as it is abided by Constitution. So the contentious appeal after opposition sectors led violent crimes, triggering brutal murders of 27 Venezuelans, and in the face of a situation that has to be cleared out, the Venezuelan president came to the Supreme Court of Justice and filed that contentious appeal. President of the National Assembly, I am willing to recognize, I will always recognize the decisions made by the Supreme Court of Justice, abided by Constitution, including the final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice of the Electoral Chamber. Notwithstanding, I do not share the Electoral Chamber's final judgment. I complied with it, as it shall occur with any citizen of Venezuela. You may like it or not, but your constitutional obligation is to comply with the final judgment, as it is a judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice, the top official entity of the Republic, period. Because when he highlighted that he complied with the final judgment, he referred to the ratification of the results issued by the National Electoral Council. The defense, the lawyers just rest because in all the letter, in all the content of the letter, he mentioned the sentence, the final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice, and then he said, convinced on the need of exploring all possibilities of understanding for peace, I wish to give my respects and recognition to all Venezuelan institutions represented in the five state powers: electoral powers led by President Nicolás Maduro, legislative power, electoral power led by President Elvis Amoroso, judicial power led by President Jorge Rodriguez, and he pointed out his respect and recognition. There is no Supreme Court of McDonald that are being met in Miami, or any Spanish parliament that are being gathered in Spain, but he's abided by the Constitution. So within this context, I am willing to depart from Venezuela, and I want to emphasize on the political dialogue, and this is a fundamental element. He searched for us. There was any kinds of measures as the press and far-right opposition sectors have pointed out. There is no any kind of situation in which Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia could feel being violating his rights. During his conversation, he just came up with the solution of departing Venezuela and requesting political asylum in the Spanish Kingdom. And so Venezuela is very respectful with asylum regulations and everything related to international rights. Venezuela respects them. So this is not the government of Noboa who breaks into embassies by force. Consequently, I found myself at the headquarters of the Spanish embassy to Caracas. I repeat that we were invited to hold talks with Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia by phone and in face-to-face. As I repeat, we have several encounters the night before departing the country on September 8th, and I transferred my intention to requesting political asylum before your government. And for a very accurate reason, European countries do not allow that the person who wanted to request asylum does it through an embassy, but he has to arrive to the Spanish territory to request the asylum. But well, the word is a word. As it appeared my name there at the beginning, and my name has appeared in several lies. Well, it is necessary to come here and tell the truth. Other of the lies in that direction, there's understanding for the corresponding passages safeguard passages of Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia and her wife. And still today there are people saying that there was any negotiation, any conversation, and what was it? What was it that was that? As Joaquin what is it? What do you think? What do they think that we are still in the 16th century, in which an official airplane of the Spanish Kingdom entered Venezuelan territory? Well, he has that plane has to do it by the authorization of the Venezuelan government, and so for the aircraft go to from Madrid to Dominican Republic, and when we provided the corresponding the corresponding passage, in that plane was the Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia departed the country. We no longer have to say that an airplane came by here and picked him up. That's not like that. And so everything is a byproduct of the desire of González Urrutia abandoning Venezuela, and the conversations held with Mr. González Urrutia that led to this letter, and the conversations between the government of Venezuela and the government of Spain to bestow the authorizations and the authorizations of the exit and the departure and arrival, departure from Venezuela and the arrival to Spain of Mr. González Urrutia. So, González Urrutia, you must keep your word, because we only have our word, which it enclosures, it embraces the decency. So he said he would give record that his opinions about Venezuela's politics will be limited. And you tell me if you are complying with what you promised. Having conversations with Antony Blinken to attack Venezuela, to threaten Venezuela in a kind of possession of Donald Trump's or Elliot Abbott. It seems like Antony Blinken was mesmerized by these characters. And so González Urrutia has been meeting with these despicable human beings, and the other, from parliament to parliament, begging for things that he himself rejects in this letter. Shares of parliaments of the Spanish parliament, and here this González Urrutia said he complied the final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice. How is it left the thing that you approved interfering in the internal affairs of Venezuelans? You have nothing to deem about regarding Venezuela. And how is it possible that a person complied with the final judgment and that said that the electoral results provided as a winner President-elect Nicolás Maduro, and he said he accepted that. He recognized the resolution and the effects of the final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice, and then the far right, the Spanish far right, said no. Even though González Urrutia complied with it, we denied that the Spanish far right said. And with the purpose of reaching peace and tranquility, I must be prudent, and I must respect publicly. And so, does he comply with what he wrote? No. So we have been patient. We have been putting up aggressions, from the European Parliament, Anthony Blinken, Jose Maria Aznar, Felipe González, and all of them insulting Venezuela, using González Urrutia to insult Venezuela, to attack Venezuela. And so we get tired because we keep our word. And then an article published by the Gran Aldea website, they were lying. They were saying barbarism, as Mr. González Urrutia was repressed, and so, and there an article from El País came out saying other things, and so gossips end because the truth is revealed. We have all the evidence of this situation. I hope, Mr. President of the National Assembly, count on your good offices in regarding this letter in favor of the interests of our nation. Thank you, Mr. González Urrutia, for recognizing the authority of the National Assembly and the 5 public powers of the Venezuelan state. But this is with the purpose that there have been a lot of lies and attacks, and so we have to respond by telling the truth. And it is the truth. Attorney Jose Vicente Aro, let's put a video about something he said this morning. I must inform directly the communique by the president of González Urrutia in a conversation I held with him after he arrived in Madrid, and after being at peace. And Mr. González Urrutia ratified me directly that he had not submitted any document in which he recognized the electoral results issued by the National Electoral Council in the bulletins 1 and 2, or the ratification and verification of the electoral results established by a final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice of Venezuela at the Electoral Chamber on August 22, 2024. This information has been disseminated by media outlets and social media, and by the request of Mr. González Urrutia, I must disclose that this information is not attached to the truth. So I must request that concerning the issue of Mr. González Urrutia, people must handle prudence and must consult truthful sources, because there's a lot of speculations about it, and so these speculations damage the image of Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia to his political leadership, and because led as an opposition democratic candidate representing the unitary platform of the New Time Party and the Movement for Venezuela. That's what I wanted to say about it. And finally, to add that Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia, till the latest time, he advocated for the release of political prisoners in Venezuela, and that's the request that he asked me, and so that will depend on the Venezuelan authorities to adopt the due acts. And so he advocated for the release of political prisoners, as he always has done since the time he took the candidacy for presidential elections on July 28th. So it's not only a liar, but he is very out of date, because in the few press releases he's just observed as a liar, because reality confirms otherwise. Just observe the signature of Gonzalez Urrutia. And so then he made the call again to Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia and asked him, what is this about of what I'm showing here? This is Gonzalez Urrutia while he was at the Spanish embassy to Caracas, in which we were summoned the night before he departed from Venezuela. Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia signing the document in our presence to hand it over to us, with the presence of the Executive Vice President Edmundo Gonzalez, Executive Vice President Jorge Rodriguez. Look, Sir Aro, from your own hands, Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia wanted us to receive the letter that I have just read. And there you see the plane of Gonzalez Urrutia. Let's see a video. This is the plane of the Spanish government at the International Simón Bolívar airport, at a request of the Spanish government, in which we agreed, because no one forces us to anything. And if we agreed, we agreed, and if we don't, we just said no. But we agreed, and so we allowed that the Spanish government would be at the hangar of the Executive Vice Presidency of the airport. So, in conclusion, I received a letter signed by Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia. In that letter, he he complied with the final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice, and he established that he departed from Venezuela voluntarily, and that he promoted dialogue and with his country, and that he is at the headquarters of the Spanish embassy to Caracas, and there he sent his intention to request asylum in Spain. And so we hope you comply, you keep your word. And he highlighted that his public activity will be limited, and so he is not complying with his promise because he is part of the lies and he just supports the lies that he's been persecuted. So you see the climax of the conversations that conducted, that the Venezuelan government bestowed the consecutive safeguard passages to Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia. So we expect two things: that with this the gossips end, because this is the truth, and the other thing is that you Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia, complied with what you signed here. With a lot of pleasure, I will answer all questions by double B, Gabriela Gonzalez. Good afternoon. Let me put the letter here. There you see, Gabriela, the letter, the signature. I have 4 questions. Let me put the letter away. Just 4. Because we have I have 4 questions, and the first is Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia has just answered to the statements you gave, and that he pointed out that he signed that letter by forcibly, and he was threatened, and so I wanted to see your criteria about it. And the second question is that you spoke about this final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice. I wanted to consult you as President of Parliament and member of the PSUV regarding this final judgment. The National Electoral Council was urged to publish the results till today. There hasn't been happening. And the fourth, related to Spain, the Spanish Senate has approved the possibility of recognizing González Urrutia as president-elect, and it is proposed to break off relations with Spain, and so would you give any advance in this agreement about breaking off relations with Spain? And in the latest days, the Venezuelan government, there have been 4 U.S. citizens detained, and on your condition as a negotiator of the government, these U.S. citizens, I would like to know if you have been holding conversations with the United States to reactivate negotiations. Thank you. Look, Gabriela, I repeat, the only thing that we have on our tongue is the good name and words. For being a liar, you need a lot of memory because you have to remember lies and then to settle the lies later. As I have bad memory, I am absent-minded. I would tell you what happened with the letter today, but it is not a matter of this press conference. I'd rather to handle the truth. It is a call that I made to all media outlets that you belong to the hegemonic media outlets. You are accustomed to accept the far-right opposition lies as they are truth. And where's the cohesion here? I tell you one thing, Gabriela and Gonzalez Urrutia. You are accusing me of having forced you in somehow, but I have evidence of otherwise. Do not compel me to show them because I am willing to do it. I have recorded conversations personally. Would you like me to show them? I respect discretion, but so I haven't showed them. But if you accuse me, I am going to show them. This is not the only thing that we have. We have more things. Is this cohesion, Gabriela? Or here? Can you see cohesion there? The Spanish ambassador is accomplice of the cohesion because he's there. There you see, he's reading and signing. In any case, pardon me if I am rude, Gonzalez Urrutia. In the better of cases, for you, you are a coward. Because there's no human being that compels me to write my name in something I do not agree with. In the better of cases for you, and it is a lie, don't force me to show the evidence. Because if in the next 24 hours you don't you won't tell the truth and you won't back down of that accusation, I will show the evidence that we held conversations. You've got 24 hours to tell the truth, to stop the allegation. I would recommend you to rectify, to make the wrong right. So throughout the whole Republican history, we have all kinds of leaders, most of all in the 4 republics in which there were no ethics, but cowardice in Venezuela is not forgiven. I wouldn't want to think that you fled the country because you were scared. I hope it isn't because of that. It is because I hope that the reasons why you departed are for the reasons you wrote in the letter. So if in 24 hours you don't tell the truth, you stop the accusations, I will show you the evidence. And regarding the final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice, there's a final judgment that ratified the results issued by the National Electoral Council, and the National Electoral Council published the results, abided by the Constitution and the laws and it is already published on the official gazette, the results of the presidential elections. If they mounted a matrix to substitute the functions of the National Electoral Council, making a coup d'état of the electoral system and but the National Electoral Council has complied with its obligations established by the electoral laws, by the Constitution, and even the final judgment of the Supreme Court of Justice, which we must fulfill with the final judgment. We don't mind what the Spanish Senate said. We don't mind, we don't matter their opinion. It is an aggression. It is a clear aggression, even with Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia, who is telling that he complied with. And so the Spanish far right is going against the freedom of Europe to attack Venezuela. We, the National Assembly of the Bolivarian Revolution of the Venezuela, yesterday we recognized the agreement about external policy of Venezuela, and tomorrow we will be approving the agreement at the National Assembly. Regarding the 4 U.S. citizens and other travelers, other tourists that before coming here they were doing tourism in Afghanistan, Libya, all in the same hotel in Bogota. It seems that they were all hired by the same person and they received the instructions. I just want to say that investigations are really advanced, as Minister Cabello said before the National Assembly. And in the upcoming minutes and hours, we will be clearing out and defeating all these conspiracies. We haven't received any contact by in their opportunity. They were on the negotiation tables with the United States of America. And so, 4 questions, Gabriela. By Hispan TV, Marco Salgado. Hi, President. A question. What could you advance? What can you tell us about the nature, the tone of the phone and face-to-face conversations held with Gonzalez Urrutia? There was a tone of fights, of conciliation. Well, it was a cordial tone, a polite tone. The politeness doesn't. We exchange different criteria, and so he said to present a letter directed to the President of the National Assembly, because it is not Jorge Rodriguez, but it is on the condition of the representative of the National Parliament. So I received that letter by hand because I knew, Marcos, that there was a possibility. He denied it. We know it. We know that there was a possibility that he denied the truth. So it was not a tone of coercion or pressure. In all case, the occasions, you can certify, the whole people can when we met with opposition politicians, what we said privately, we said publicly. And there's a suggestion, an order by President Maduro, that conversation is first, is a priority, and so the opposition, the politicians, have requested us these conversations to be secret, and I was quiet. Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia talk dummy things with opposition leaders. Julio Borges is the owner of the great village, and of course he published a lot of lies, and then El País published another version, and we know who provided the outlet, the information, the lies, and we kept quiet. And then they began to make up other things with the Spanish Senate, Parliament. To all those parliaments, we will answer them. But Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia, you must respect your word. If in 24 hours you don't tell the truth and you don't stop the accusation, I will present the evidence. Thank you. I think it's Andres Diaz. How are you doing? Good afternoon. 3 questions, President. At the moment you received the letter by the hands of Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia, at the moment of analyzing it, would you like to add anything? And regarding the agreement, you are pointing out these decisions of the countries, of some countries, to recognize Gonzalez Urrutia as president. Well, we have the votes to approve the bill, and about the other parliaments, I just came up with a new idea regarding. What was the first question you asked me? If you would like to add an observation of if that is the original letter, or you add some information. Do you think that I will place a signature or something? If then afterwards it is being demonstrated that it was forged. That's why it was my request to provide his signature in each of the pages, and I just show you the evidence that the Spanish ambassador was a witness, and we have several witnesses. Witnesses participated in the act of signing this document. And why do we have records? Because we imagine these accusations. The attorney of Gonzalez Urrutia said he didn't sign any document, and 6 hours later, I don't know how to call him, the client of Jose Vicente Aros said that he was forced to sign, and I told him he has 24 hours to tell the truth. Well, we have 3 questions. You told that Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia complied with the agreements of the asylum, and I would like to know what happened with this. And I would like you to describe how was the context of the scenario of this encounter with Gonzalez Urrutia, and taking into account the evidence showed by Minister Diosdado Cabello of the destabilizing actions by the United States. It could be related, Gonzalez Urrutia, with these destabilizing actions. The Convention on Asylum and Refuge that are being established by countries notes that the one requesting asylum, you have to be limited your political activity by the host country. So this, for Mr. Gonzalez Urrutia, well, we provide him the safeguard passages, but the host country demands to have limited activity for those being asyled. And so the Spanish government must point out the obligations as that Gonzalez Urrutia has with his asylum. So the conversations were on a polite tone. He presented us a letter that he requested to deliver the letter on our hands. And there you see the photos that have already showed you. And there you see he's reading carefully his letter before signing it. I don't put my signature in something that I do not agree, but you know the climate, the environment of the encounter. Don't force me to comply with the truth tomorrow, but I would rather not to do it. But of course I will do it if you don't tell the truth, if you don't stop the accusation, because I don't know in which part of the planet corresponds on a cohesive element to be seated in a room comfortably, talking. The kindness of Mr. Spanish ambassador, he served some booze for the conversation to be nice. Unfortunately, I don't like whiskey, which he served, but we have records of all of it, so it is no necessary. And enough with lies and gossips. I will show the evidence. You've got 24 hours to stop the accusations, but if you insist that this was a coercion, I will show the conversations, and I tell more. If you signed under coercion, how is it possible that one of your daughters is living in Venezuela at peace with her family, as all Venezuelans live, that could think in one way or another, but they have freedom in Venezuela? A citizen of Venezuela? So if we are the savage coercion individuals, you are doing the same as Juan Guaido. when he ran away to Colombia and had his family here. Lies are always revealed. Thank you very much.
You're listening to the live statements and a news briefing of the President of the National Assembly of Venezuela, Jorge Rodriguez, who was presenting the original copy of the letter leaked earlier this morning in foreign media regarding a letter that was sent by a far-right opposition, Edmundo Gonzalez, to the President of the National Assembly. In this letter, he recognized the institutions of the Venezuelan government, Supreme Court of Justice, the National Electoral Council of Venezuela. He recognized the results of the July 28 elections, and he recognized the victory of President Nicolas Maduro at the polls in these elections that were held on July 28th. In this case, Jorge Rodriguez presented sounding evidence of the meeting that was held in the Spanish embassy, where Edmundo signed and recognized and got the agreement, something that has been denied by many foreign mainstream media. So during the press conference, Jorge Rodriguez presented all necessary evidence to put an end to the gossip, to put an end to the lies, and pledged to continue presenting evidence if Edmundo Gonzalez and the far right continues with this policy of disregarding the truth and distorting the reality of Venezuela. Tune with teleSUR for more updates. Let's go.